welcome to How Not to Souls. Jay around here. And today we are looking at a Shadow of the Erd Tree melee intelligence build, which is pretty good. I don't know, there's something about magic and cold damage in the DLC that just really rocks house. Outside of like standardly cold damage is pretty good throughout the whole game. But I don't know. Even more so, like intelligence damage is really intelligence-based damage is really good. Overall, I give it a 9 out of 10. I do like intelligence builds, especially intelligence melee builds. But let's take a look at our numbers. As we see, we are a quality physical stat intelligence infused powerhouse with a high amount of health and endurance. And all the things, ability to cast spells, which in essence, this is a melee build, so we didn't really cast all the many spells. But yeah, just really good damage. Let's go over our weapons and our catalysts when we use catalysts. Then we'll move on to our everything else. I feel like you know what that is. So as you can see, I am a great sword lover, and a majority of the playthrough we had our Claymore, Darkmoon Greatsword, and Health and Steeple rocking the scene, all doing pretty decent damage. And then I hopped upon the the Lizard Greatsword. I made it into a cold. And a unique greatsword because it can shoot a projectile on the R1. Doesn't do that. The projectile itself doesn't do that great a damage, but if you get hit with the sword and the projectile, you're doing some good damage there. Always a big fan of the Magic Zwei, or just the Zweihander in general. I think it's a top 5 weapon within Elden Ring altogether. Wing of Astel is pretty rocking. Big fan of the backhand blades. I did a dual wield combo with the Starlined sword and the Moonveil. Both katanas, both did really well. I love the Ash of War on the Starlined sword. Pretty awesome. It's a 3-step one. Hold on, we can even take a look at it now. But it's 3 steps here. So here's phase 1. That's 2. And then 3 is you jump up in the air and slam down. And it does a lot of damage. And it also, in every instance I've used it, it also procced bleed. So I'll also doing even more damage. It was pretty freaking wild. And finally, because we stuck with more swords than anything else, I did like to dual wield Renalis Twin Blades with the Milady. And really, it's just the magic side. You can't use the fire side of Renalis Twin Blades, so you use the Milady fused with magic, which is cool. Does good damage. Fun to use. You don't get the cool weapon art, though, but you do get the stance buff if you're using Renalis Cameo. It's unfortunate that you do not get that, though. It made me very sad when I found that out. But it makes sense because you're not using the weapon to its fullest degree. For our fashion, we had the Black Knight hood, the blue silver mail armor, Zamor bracelets, and Renalis gloves. It gave okay protection, but I thought it looked good. Really good. I mean, I think I could have gone for more blue silver stuff, I guess, but when I popped on this, I got this from the Alberneric by the Shadow Tree that was riding the wolf. That's where I got this one. Looks pretty good. For a more stable armor set, I was wearing the... Hold on. I just always forget the name of it. Where did you go? The Knight Cavalry set with the red... with the Alberics pointed hat. Gave a wizard fighter feel with it. But I landed on this. I kind of liked it quite a bit. So, for our talismans, Urchi's flavor, Two-handed sword talisman and Shard of Alexander were on the entire time for the most part. The jump talisman got switched out with the Godfrey icon, which was on for most of the playthrough because we do have a lot of charged attacks or skills and spells that we use that were very, very, very helpful. Also, Bulgo's talisman when we wanted some extra poise, wanted some extra damage, Rider with sword insignia, always good. And I imagine there's other stuff. I don't know. I just can't think of it. But for our spells, when we did use spells, so I try to stick with the theme of like weapons for spells, and so we had our summoned weapons for spells just because it fit the theme. And I was also kind of running a trial because I'm going to do a summoned weapons playthrough eventually. But the Carrion Slicer and the Carrion Greatsword, great combos. But I feel like a Duelist Moonblade is the sword sorcery that shines. And all these can be used. Oh, we didn't even go over our catalysts. All these can get buffed, or the sword sorceries get buffed by the Carrying Glitstone Staff. Also, using Lusats gives it the extra damage at a greater FP output. So having the Lusats on your right, the Carrion in the left, it's a pretty good combo for casting. Do a lot of really awesome damage. I mean, Lusats really having the catalyst that buffs the sorceries and using Lusats to cast it is the thing to do. It's pretty wild. But as you can see, those are the three. Gavel of Haima, huge. And for most of our long distance attacks, Loretta's Great Bow. And you can even, was it Loretta's Mastery as well. I don't know, for some reason I like the single arrow better. I know Loretta's Mastery is a better spell, but I was vibing on this. If we, just in case we did need a projectile in a pinch, we had Comet. Or if we wanted to clear an area at Cannon of Haima, Magic Glint Blade, hence the name Blade. And Carrion Phalanx, Magic Glint Blades on there. But these were only two non-weapon sorceries, or non-weapon theme sorceries, which I want to say I didn't use that often. I think I used Comet against Putrescent Knight. And I felt like, I kind of shortchanged myself. We should have tried with these bad boys. But whatever. Still, we didn't really cast all that much. When we did, it was mostly more of the weapon-themed sorceries. Overall, if you do want to do this build, I think it's a fun time. Like I said, intelligence damage builds are really strong, especially with the frostbite status effect. Little magic damage does good. I think it shines in Shadow of the Erdtree. It's pretty GD good. But overall, yeah, fun time. And I hope you enjoy the video. Enjoy the rest of the footage. And I'll see you later. Peace out.